NBA 2K25 My NBA News just dropped, and I want to react to it today. They made a video and a article about it. Am I going to get my hopes up? Probably. Will I be disappointed? There's a good chance. So yeah, let's react to this, and then we'll break everything down. That's going to be new this year. It's my first reaction to this, so I have no idea. I hope some things are a little bit different. Hopefully we get some good gameplay changes, some good interface changes, maybe just a different design throughout the offseason, because it's been the same thing pretty much since Next Gen came out. Let's see.
Welcome back to another NBA 2K25 Courtside Report. Today, we're breaking down all things new in My NBA Mode. I'm Chris Manning, and I'm joined today by producer Jeff Schrader on the mode, who's going to discuss all these exciting new things with the fans.
One of our favorite features is My NBA Era.
Never heard of this Jeff guy before at all. I have no idea. I guess that's LD, right?
You know, we added it 2K23. We got 4 new eras. Last year, we added the LeBron era. And this year, for 2K25, we got the Curry era. You can do it yourself. You can join KD, Curry, and the Warriors, or try and top them with LeBron and the Cavs.
I can't wait to jump into the eras. What are some new features that fans could expect?
We've completely revamped how you can expand or contract the league, both in the modern era or even if you go back to any of the past eras. Now you can have any team size from 12 to 36. You can actually completely grow or shrink the league as you like it going from year to year. You're going to be able to customize it to degrees that you've never been able to do before.
I guess if I'm getting that, then you can kind of like eliminate teams throughout seasons, which I guess could be cool if you are into like relegation and if you want to bring that over to the NBA landscape, which is, I feel like, a very niche audience. That is the only new My NBA change, it seems like, because we're already on My GM. I hope this is just a shortened video. Let's see what they have about My GM.
We took the standard role-playing experience and we just made it so awesome that you can actually go and choose your backstory. For example, maybe you want to be an ex-player. Maybe you want to be a savant that skips.
All right, what did that say right there? I don't know. Like, this is cool and all, like My GM, and you could really get into it, but I feel like we don't need more like cutscenes or more role playing. Like, it was a cool idea in theory. I don't really think they build a ton off of it. I think I'd rather have still that aspect of like your GM and you're doing things that you got, maybe reports and stuff, but we could just get that in an email. I feel like you don't have to make this be so much longer than it needs to be, and you're sitting down with your owner, you're sitting down with the trainer and stuff like that. So it looks like you could pick your backstory, ex-player, scout. You could be a quant, a capitalist, a closer, or you can customize it.
An ex-player. Maybe you want to be a savant that skips with spreadsheets, or maybe you're a closer that you know that your battlefield.
See, like, yeah, like you could do this stuff where it's like the cutscenes and it sits down, but I feel like it just takes way more time than it needs to. It could just be something in like an email on the screen. I think what 2K has going for them that Madden doesn't, and EA and NCAA or even MLB The Show is like, you could get through these pretty quickly, and I don't think you need to get through them quickly, but if you just try to like go into a player card in Madden, it will take, I think, like double the amount of time than 2K. So I think like we don't need to make this longer, and we can still have this aspect of the game, but more in like the home screen rather than having to sit down, do all this, and you're just there. But hey, people may enjoy that, so that's on them. And like, I'm glad you do enjoy it.
This is the boardroom. From there, you get to choose your attributes. Do you want to be...
All right, so you could be a type of coaching, medicine, business, charisma, analytics. Okay.
Really skilled at helping your players on the court, maybe improving your offense.
Because, okay, I'm sorry for cutting this off a lot, and this will be the last time I do it, but I think it would be cool if My GM and My NBA were still kind of combined. Like, I like the fluidness of My NBA, where you can kind of go in, do a 3-year rebuild, and it won't take you more than 2 hours, even if you're getting into the weeds of things, which I like about that, because you're not waiting a ton on the menu screens. But I think this part is really cool, having a breakdown for your GM. I just wish they can kind of combine the two modes instead of keeping them separate.
Your defense, or do you want to have charisma off the charts so that you can wheel and deal and get all those picks and trades that you want? Finally, you get to choose your perks, where we have a ton of completely new abilities that will really revamp and change how you play. Now, one thing that we actually think is really cool is player expression. So like, what do you think is the most important thing when you're building a team?
For me, it's getting scores, of course. You know, I got to score the buckets, so I go after the high-scoring players.
We got badges for you. We got a badge that'll improve your outside shooting. We got badges that'll also improve your team depth so that everyone gets a little bit hotter. Maybe you want to pick the X-player so that at level 12, you can get a perk. Everyone's on fire in elimination games. Really make sure that you can close them out.
This sounds pretty dynamic. So how can a player grow in the mode using these new features?
Great question. So The old staple for MyGM was that you'd be given tasks. Now that's been transferred to a conversation where, say, you have the team governor, he tells you, hey, I want to swap out all the starters. It's now up to you to decide how you navigate through that conversation. Afterwards, maybe you agree, maybe you don't, you get experience, you level up. When you level up, you get more attribute points to spend and more perks that you can get until eventually you can reach the cap of 20 and you're going to be unstoppable.
Okay, so how do these conversations and interactions take place this year in 2K25?
So eventually when someone has a conversation that they want to have with you, they'll give you a little notification and you actually go inside the MyGM building. It's a free roam environment. Go over, have a conversation, and it really makes it feel like
I can't tell if I like this or not. I can't tell if should be like a my player thing, or this could just be done in the menu screen specifically rather than having to go out there and talk. Because I don't know. Maybe I just gotta play it to really understand if it's gonna be something that I think is useful or not.
you're in the role-playing experience, that you are the GM.
Last season, the NBA introduced the in-season tournament. I loved watching that. This year, it's being rebranded as the NBA Cup. So what can we expect from the NBA Cup in NBA 2K25?
One of the cool things about the NBA Cup going forward is that it's going to be able to work with schedule generation.
Okay, all right, this is our first look at the screens, and I kind of like it. It's different. I actually am a fan of kind of the color scheme. Obviously, it would be nice if maybe some things were different, like you still have your record, chemistry, fan interest, and profit in the bottom left. Like that could have been a little bit different, but at least the color scheme is a little bit different, and I do like that. It makes it feel like somewhat of a different game, and it looks like, yeah, through the top, it's the same thing where you have your calendar, your contacts, trade block. This is MyGM actually, but I assume this will also be through MyNBA as well.
Schedule generation 4, it's really awesome, but it's so complex to make. So we would basically just have to take the schedule and freeze it. Now for next year, we're actually going to be able to do a little bit more, generate different schedules as the years go on, be able to change up groups a little bit. So we think it's going to be even more engaging.
That wraps up our NBA 2K25 courtside report. I'm pumped. I know the fans are pumped. Jeff, thanks so much for sharing all the knowledge about this new mode.
You got it. And again, thanks to all the fans. We couldn't do this without them. We put in so much passion and effort just because we know that they're going to love it.
Can't wait to play it. And remember, for all of you out there, this is where your journey begins to building the next great dynasty. Make sure to stay tuned for more NBA 2K25 courtside reports.
All right, we'll see what the article has to tell us. I would have liked there for, I don't know, to be a little bit more throughout that. So this may just break down what we saw in the video pretty much. So yeah, they're basically saying MyGM returns in 2K25. The role-playing franchise mode puts you in the role of an NBA team's general manager. Pretty much what we learned throughout that as well. You could pick a backstory. So yeah, you could go through kind of offensive coaching, defensive coaching. Yeah, this stuff that we also saw in the video as well. And you're going to be able to get different attributes, different badges, different perks as well, which I'm not sure how I feel about that aspect in kind of like the front office mode, just because I think that is also more of like a player style, maybe a coaching style, but it's interesting how that's going to be with the general manager as well. And is anybody grinding out for perks or badges as a general manager? That will wait to be seen. But like, I do like the idea of MyGM. I just kind of wish it was also able to do like a 20-year rebuild for a video and not have it take, I don't know, maybe 50 hours of my time to record. But hey, I think I'm also in like a niche spot as well, which this could be fun to do longer rebuilds with, because you could really get involved with the team. And I'm excited about like the Emirates Cup next year as well, because that should have like another new experience. And I definitely want to play more of those games in my videos. Okay, so they're focusing on a smaller number of impactful conversations for a better experience rather than overwhelming you with constant chit chat requests. All right, I like that. I think that was a flaw in MyGM in the past, where there was just something every day, and they really didn't mean much in the overall grand scheme of things. So I do like that they're gonna make it more quality over quantity of these like chit chat requests, or just stuff that needs to be talked about. So yeah, basically there's going to be, I guess, free roaming here in your front office, which is also interesting. I wonder how people are gonna like that when the governor or one of your staff members wants to have a conversation with you. You'll see a notification on the calendar or other landing menus. Maybe the CFO needs to talk to you about cutting costs or managing public opinion, or the head coach wants to talk to you about a lineup change. You can go to the MyGM building and have that done. Interesting about the CFO, are we cutting costs in prices of stuff, or are we cutting costs with the team? Now, if the second apron or the first apron was in this game, that would be a really cool feature where they're like, yeah, you guys are projected to go over the second apron in a year or two from now. You may not be able to extend, we'll say, Brandon Ingram to $50 million a year if you're the GM of the Pelicans. Like, that would be a really cool feature. I don't know if it's going to be like that. I think that would be really cool, though. They did implement, leaderboards, which has been in the past as well. The Curry era, so this is going to be taking control of the 2017 season, so they're adding another one there, which will be nice for historic rebuilds. I do like using 2017 as kind of a year for the rebuilds, because for those historic ones, because there's a lot of cool teams then. You're trying to take down Steph, KD, Clay, and Draymond of the elite Warriors of that time. You can obviously take control of the Cavs with LeBron, maybe the last year with Kyrie as well. Or maybe you want to do something with James Harden and Chris Paul and the Houston Rockets. Like, that could also be something also. So yeah, they're implementing the NBA Cup, which this tournament consists of group play stage followed by single elimination knockout rounds, and on new GM, or new gen, excuse me, in 2K25, the NBA Cup now supports between 12 and 36 teams. Okay, so if you do have a smaller league or a larger league, they're all going to be, they're all going to be implemented into the NBA Cup, which is nice. I would hope so. League expansion and contraction. They talked about their full fluidity to add or remove up to 6 teams to the league each year. So yeah, you can remove teams if you want, which is also kind of interesting, because you can have like the worst team in the league gets eliminated the following year, and they could maybe relegated, and then you could bring them back or something like that as expansion teams. And obviously, if you're going through the 80s or the 90s, that is also a cool feature as well. When you start from an historical era, the way league news is delivered to you changes over time. Authentically represent what it was like in each era. Previously, this started as the 2K Times newspaper. Okay. Cool, I guess. In 2K25, we've added the new webpage 2.0 to format Bridge the Gap in the late 2000s, so I guess you're getting more social media coming in 2K, like 2K11, around 2011. Streamline my staff management. Previously, my staff had up to 17 staff positions surrounding your GM to fill and manage, but we noticed it could be overwhelming for players. I agree. I don't think we needed all those type of scouts. I feel like you can kind of trim it down. Yeah, to governor, GM, assistant GM, CFO, head coach, head scout, and team doctor. I am cool with that. You can now hire bonus staff under each department as you need. Bonus staff are an easy way to boost the performance of a department without having to micromanage and hiring and firing extra staff. Want to make a big push for the playoffs? Move the bonus staff to the head coach. Trying to cash in on a ton of draft picks, move it to the head scout, and then you have the flexibility and balance to do what you want, or the flexibility to balance what you want out of them as a team, as well as any other tasks you might have if you're playing my GM. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got. It looks like it's only on new gen, it looks like, so sorry for all you old gen guys. I'm not sure if that means like old gen is just going to be basically 2K24 copied, probably. And yeah, that is all the 2K25 news we have for my NBA, my GM. I just hope it feels like a different game. I hope that this simulation logic makes a little bit more sense. I would like for us not having to make so many changes with contracts where you have like a James Wiseman who's a 77 overall asking for $30 million in free agency. It would be nice if it was like that. I really thought it would be cool with like the second apron stuff. I even threw out an idea it would be cool if there was stuff labeled as bad contracts, good contracts, neutral contracts. So say you have Andrew Wiggins and you're the GM of the Warriors, you can like trade him, but you have to attach a first round pick or a nice young player to get off of his bad contract that the game labels it as. Or if you have a really good contract, maybe like what Lauri Markkanen was pre the extension, that could bump up his trade value even more in trade talks as well. Like, I thought that would have been really cool. I don't think we're going to have that. So yeah, that is going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about 2K25 in the comments below. I do hope it's a little bit different this year. I still had a good time playing 2K24. I would like for it to feel a little bit different year over year. Obviously, we don't get that as much. And honestly, I think it's been a little bit of a letdown in new gen. I thought we did get nice advancements from like the 360 to the next Xbox. Like, they experimented things with my GM and stuff like that. And it felt different time over time. But I just feel like since the new gen came out back in like the fall of 2020, we really haven't felt like it's been too much of a change year over year. Like, I feel like if I go back to 2K, 21 or 22, it's gonna feel relatively the same that what 2K25 may be. That could be just me. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments below, and I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.